What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Porter Rock. Welcome back to my channel. In the background, you can see I got Madden. I'm about to play some Madden. Got to finish my season. And last night I finished Uncharted 4 on Crushing. I started that game out on Crushing, and man, it was hectic. I don't know. I think I'm getting too old to be a hardcore gamer. I think I might have to start going casual, start playing on easy mode, because man, it was hectic. I was stressing out. But I finally did it last night, so I could move on to some other great games. Thank you for the support for those who joined my channel. Right now I'm doing a quick video on my iPhone using the YouTube capture, so I want to see how this works out. You know, try to do some videos on the spot. And the reason why I'm doing an on the spot video, I want to talk about something that just came up, which is leaks about the XB1 Slim, supposedly. NeoGaf, someone made a thread showing a poster of a possible of what's going to be presented at E3 by Microsoft, specifically the XB1 Slim. Apparently, it's going to have a 2 terabyte hard drive. It's going to be 40% smaller, capable of 4K movies, but it will not be upgraded hardware. It's going to be pretty much the Xbox One hardware, only smaller, in a smaller, package. Traditionally, what has always been done, most Slims or minis, whether it's from PlayStation or Microsoft, has always been the original hardware, only a smaller package. Now, this is what's interesting, and this is really the topic of the video. Is apparently it's going to be more expensive. Maybe that hasn't been validated, but supposedly it's going to be $449, which is kind of weird, because really the whole point of releasing a Slim is because the manufacturing process is cheaper. Therefore, you can sell the console cheaper. You want to release a Slim model so you could get it in the hands of more consumers. One thing I've tried to tell a lot of people is, and excuse me for, because I'm holding this by my hand, so excuse the, camera shifting. But one thing I try to tell people is you have different gamers throughout the gen that are willing to spend a certain amount of money to upgrade into the current gen. You'll have your launch guys, you'll have your gamers that will buy consoles day one, and then they'll wait for a $50 price drop, and so on and so on. Right now, we're into the point of the gen where gamers want $300 or less consoles. And seeing an Xbox One being sold for $449 or Slim, that may be counterproductive. I don't think it's $449. Unless the only thing I could guess is maybe the 2 terabyte hard drive. Could it be a hybrid or a solid state hard drive? So that way Xbox One can have improved performance with a solid state hard drive. Then that would probably jack up the price. But I think Microsoft would do better releasing a 2 terabyte hard drive, a standard hard drive, disk drive. So that way it could be $300 or less. I think that's the important part. Microsoft needs to push 300 sub consoles. Not just Microsoft, but Sony too. It's time to get these consoles more accessible to gamers, grow the user base. Because at the end of the day, these both consoles will support the industry, will support the third parties to get their games out, to get those consoles in as many hands as possible, so that way everybody could find success on that platform. So pretty interesting. Xbox One Slim, E3 reveal. Chances are it's not going to be upgraded hardware, which I always thought would be kind of weird, because I know there was rumors of the Xbox Mini being close to the Neo, and then the following year, the rumored Scorpio, which would be even more powerful. And I always figured, I thought to myself, how would that work? How would you release a more powerful console this year and then have people upgrade from the Xbox One vanilla to the Xbox Mini, right? Only to turn around and release another more powerful console the following year? And what about the people who finally jumped into this current gen and they buy a Mini because they see a more powerful console, only for their next immediately you release a Scorpio? Some people may be like, wait a minute, if I would have known about the Scorpio actual confirmed, I would have waited, Or people who bought the Xbox One, they would have waited for the Scorpio. So that's a dynamic that's kind of weird to release, back-to-back powerful consoles. And I'm not saying that people should be concerned about what others buy. It's more or less the opportunity of what could have been bought. So, for example, if Sony says, hey, we're releasing the Neo this year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. I'm going to get the Neo. And then all of a sudden, news breaks out, Sony releases the PS5, and it's like 10, teraflops. I'll be like, then why the hell did you make me waste my time buying the Neo this year? If I would have known you would have released something even more powerful, I would have waited one extra year. You know what I'm saying? That's the scenario. So it's not so much, what other people bought. It's what opportunity I could have had, or the individual buyer could have had if they would have known something else would be releasing immediately after, with just within a year. So I think the Xbox Mini makes sense in a way releasing this year, but it only makes sense if it's cheaper. If it's more than $350 or $300, if it's not $300 and over, then why would people buy it? People are not going to buy. Let's be honest. Xbox One's having trouble selling at the current price it is. I mean, it's doing good. It's doing better than the 360, but compared to the PS4 and the perception of how things are, it's just not selling well perceived wise. So a $300 mini or $250 mini, slim, nice and sleek, pack in a game or two, will really push the mark, and it will change that perception of how Xbox One is doing in the markets. I think it would have done really well. A 250, even I think I probably would have bought a 250 mini and not wait for the Scorpio. I think that's very enticing. Slick design and all that. 2 terabyte hard drive, which is huge. Hard drive is huge in this. And I think that's great. 2 terabyte hard drive, while you still be supported with externals. I think that would have been great. Great package. I think a lot of gamers would have been all over that. But if the mini's like $400, $450, yeah, I don't know. Even with a 2 terabyte hybrid drive or solid state drive, I don't think that's gonna cut it. I think that would push people away. I could see, the passionate community of Xbox who already own an Xbox upgrading it because it's sleeker, it's nicer. Maybe some of you still have the 500 gig and you want to upgrade. So instead of just buying a hard drive, whatever, you upgrade to a console, or you maybe just want a new thing or whatever. A sleeker console, there could be a lot of decisions. But if you want the user base to grow, you know what I'm saying, you got to attract the people who don't have the console currently. That's what Microsoft needs to do. Attract the people who don't have the console currently. Give them reason to bring them in. Good, solid price is the way to do that. So anyway, we'll see. I wish Microsoft the best at this E3. Hopefully it's not more expensive. Hopefully they could just say, hey, Xbox Slim, 40% smaller, 2 terabyte hard drive, $249 from here on out. I think that would be amazing for them. I think a lot of people will jump on it. I think people who are on the fence will be like, yeah, I'm getting it. There could be people who will be like, hey, I'm getting the PS4, but because the Xbox is so cheap, I'm going to get that too, just because it's very affordable, You get a $300 PlayStation, $250 Xbox, you'll be all right, I mean, between the two, it's like $550. If PlayStation announces a price drop due to $250 as well, $500 for 2 consoles, I think that's doable, So gamers could support both platforms or whatever. I think it's worth it. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how this E3 goes. Tomorrow, it's going to be amazing. I'm excited. Can't wait. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Stay tuned for my podcast. It's going to be called 60 Frames No Lag Podcast. More information later on the line. After E3, because that's the focus this week. Everybody wants to hear about E3. So I'm just going with the flow with that. But stay tuned for that. 60 Frames No Lag. It's going to be a podcast all about the topics that are important. One example, see my last video called Too Black for Watch Dogs 2. That's the type of topics I want to talk about on my podcast. Things that are important for gamers and things that need to be addressed for the gaming community. The way I see it, these topics, we as gamers need to address it first and foremost before people outside the community address it and then make us look like the bad guys. They make us look like the weirdos. We can't have that. You know what I'm saying? If we could address it, we could talk about it, and we could hopefully find a solution to fix some of the issues that we have in gaming, I think that's better overall for us as a community, because we are by far the most passionate community here on YouTube over any other hobby or so. All right. Thanks for the love for those. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my Twitter. And I hope you enjoyed this little quick commentary. And I hope this looks good. So we'll see. All right. Anyway, you take care. Enjoy the remainder of your weekend. Go E3 and keep it gaming, everybody. Keep it gaming. Take care.